Hello, my name is Heather and welcome to Crime Scene Knits, my YouTube show about crafting and all of the shit that I make. Welcome. My name is Heather, like I said, and I am the Crime Scene Knitter. And I talk about my craft projects and my ideas and what I have working in the craft room on YouTube, and that's it. I've been using this for more like a crafting diary than I have anything else these days. So yeah, welcome. If you want to hang out and you want to watch and see what I'm making, I'm so glad you're here. And otherwise, I will carry on talking to myself on the internet, which I think is what I do most of the time that I am on the internet. So. Today I have a bunch of projects that are either mostly finished or half finished, and then other projects which are not started yet, but I may wind up the yarn for. So without further ado, I think what I want to focus on is my mostly finished first. So let me dig through my giant basket. Ugh. My giant basket of things. Oh, should I do what I'm wearing? I'll do what I'm wearing first. I don't really podcast ridiculously or religiously anymore, and I've completely lost the skill set, so apologies. But like I said, this is more informal. So I am wearing my Language of Fans shawl. This pattern is by Barker Wool, I think, and the yarn is Barker Wool as well. It is a BFL yarn. And it's one of my favorites and I love it, and it's super warm. It's quite chilly outside today, and I have a long sleeve under a dress, but then I have this on, and this underneath a jacket is really, really cozy. So yay wool. And I guess this, where is it? Here it is. This pendant or brooch used to be my mom's, actually, and I found it in a pile of her things, and I thought, well, I like beets. I have a giant beet hanging from my wall, so here I am wearing it. It's funny because I know when I was younger, I think a lot of us had this experience where like your mom's stuff you would be caught dead in. Like I'd be so embarrassed to wear this out. And now that I am 32, I just wore it out in public like it was nothing. But it's not nothing. It just, I dress weird now. So anyways, that's what I'm wearing. That's the handmade that I'm wearing. Fun tangent. I think as I get older, I find myself becoming more like my mother in a lot of ways. And one of the ways is dressing funky like this. So that's something that sparks joy, I would say, is that I'm getting weirder as I age, as are we all, I'm sure. So the mermaid, the merm. I can't remember if I showed you guys, I feel like I did last week, but I started making a mermaid. So my friend's daughter drew this drawing, and this is the mermaid, the request. Okay, so the mermaid that I have she's got hair, lots of hair. I actually did the hair a little too thick, I think. But this is her. Let me back up a little bit so you can see pink fins. This is the tail. This is her head with her styleable hair that I made too thick. She does not have arms, as I'm sure you've noticed. They're in here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Okay. So I finished her arms. They're here. They're ready. So they'll go about there. Let's see if I can hold the merm with the arms together. There we go. So you see the vision. You can see what it's going to look like, right? So I have intentions to finish that today. I don't have a guarantee, but I have intentions. And in the crafting world, that's going to have to do. I can't imagine someone who isn't a crafter would watch this. If you're here and you don't craft, welcome. You're lost, I think, but you're welcome to be here. Okay, other projects that are almost done. Hello, cat. So I have None of those, actually. I have a project that's sort of done. Been working on a triangle shawl with a Lion brand mandala yarn. It's one of their newer colors that is no longer available on the website. So, or maybe this one is. No, I'm sorry, this one is. Some of them are not available anymore, but couldn't tell you what the name is. I have it in my Ravelry somewhere, I think. But I've been bad about keeping up with these because I finished one. And I don't think that I have been good about updating my Ravelry page. I'm trying to be better about that, but I'm trying. My next one is going to be this color I've picked out, Werewolf. And this one, they do this, so here's my pet peeve with these. They have these gorgeous colors and I love them. I have all of them. Like I have every single Lion brand mandala that they have ever released in just the mandala, line, even the special edition ones. But what they do is they'll have this really beautiful color and they'll name it something off. So they started naming these things like cryptid names, like legendary monster names, and they would name them things that don't go with the name that they picked, like at all. For example, the Phoenix colorway, mostly blues. Like there was red in there, but it was mostly blues. And I would really love to have seen the inspiration photo. This one though, Werewolf, I think that kind of fits. That's right. So they got one good. Yay. What else do I have? We're kind of all over the place today, and I would apologize, but this is free entertainment and y'all get what you pay for. I'm working on a scarf. This is for a friend. It's just basic green. It's quite a bit longer since the last time I showed this. And I need some guidance before I go any further because I want it to be the length that my friend desires. And I do not know how long she wants this. So that will be revisited later. What else? Oh, here's an FO. I finished some baby socks. I can't remember. I feel like I maybe already showed these. These are for a coworker who is pregnant. I think she's due in June, so I'm a little early on these, but that is okay. What else? Oh, my scrubby. So I wanted to try out, this is Lion brand. This is like their plastic scrubby yarn. I wanted to try it out because I hadn't used it before. And so I'm working on a bath scrubby and it's become kind of an elaborate creature. So this is what I have. And I know that this looks more like seaweed toast than it does a scrubby, but I've held the scrubby double with a cotton yarn here, and then this is just scrubby yarn. And it's got a really interesting texture. I am going to withhold judgment until I wash with it and decide if I like it. But as of right now, I think I would buy this again. I think I would, because it's scrubby without being scratchy, if that makes sense. It's got a texture to it. It's going to exfoliate, but I don't think I'm going to take any of my skin off, so that's good. I've been working on that. The next thing I have to show you guys is the next merm. So I anticipate finishing the first merm, attaching her arms today. That will take me, let's say 20 minutes. Let's guesstimate 20 minutes to get that all put together. And then she's done. She's ready to go. So all I will need to do is start merm number 2. Here is merm number 2. I'm just going to cover the name on the top. So this merm has, let's see, a pink and green and white tail, white by omission more than anything, with purple fins up around the waistline and a yellow tail. And I think blonde hair. We're going to say that the hair is blonde as opposed to the face. I did make some executive choices for this mermaid, but I also found what I think is the perfect tail color. This is exactly like, I mean, I couldn't have planned that better. So I'm excited about that. I think that's going to turn out really, really nice. It's one of those new cinnamon swirl cakes. So the only concern I kind of have, outside of excess cat hair, is that these colors are not going to change quickly enough as I'm working through the tail, because it's not a terribly big thing. So if that's the case, then I'm going to make 2 balls out of this, and I'm going to alternate balls so that I get a constant shift in color, because that's what's going to make the merm fun, I think. So there's that. I have started on this merm's face. It kind of looks like one of those Lego heads. This is where we're at. So I'm about to put on her eyelashes and then do the decreases for the head before starting the body. Her little shirt has been colored in flesh toned, but I don't want to have a naked mermaid, so she's going to have a yellow top. We're just going to say that was meant to be yellow. So it's a yellow top. It'll match her tail. I think that's nice. I started a project, and I know I told y'all about this project as if we're going to work it up as planned. However, and it kind of breaks my heart too, because I've had plans for this one for so long, but I really wanted to start Waiting for Rain by Sylvia McFadden. I have a printout. Here's what the pattern looks like. See it? Here. It's a really gorgeous shawl. It's worked up with mostly garter, and then you have these sort of short row pockets of lace. And I want it, but there was another maker who goes by Margot Chen. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that one right. Anyways, she made a mod of this shawl, and instead of using the gauge laid down by the designer, she made her gauge much, much bigger. And she picked this phenomenal, just profoundly bright green, kind of like this color. So this is one of the skeins that I grabbed for this project. This one's Chicken Coop Dye Works. God, I love this color so much. This is phosphorescent photogenesis. Say that 5 times fast if you can. And the other skein that I got was a slightly different colorway. I got 2 of these slubby bases. Let's see, what base is this? Nest. This is chicken, right? And it's just a little bit different. You really honestly can't tell. The other yarn that I've had in my stash, God, forever, that I've been saving, thinking that this was going to be the perfect color, is this. It's Pack-Up Heads. And I got this. The story of how I acquired this yarn is actually pretty funny. It was my second yarn crawl, and one of the stores that was participating in the yarn crawl wasn't a store so much as it was somebody's private alpaca yarn, way out in the middle of fucking nowhere, like way out there. And I was trying to drive to this store because I was determined to see all of the stores. I always try to go to all of them because I film. And I got into the woods, and then the road was no longer paved, and then my cell service went out, and then I was being followed, not purposefully, I don't think, but by people in like work trucks and stuff, and I'm like, this is how I die. This is how I die. I'm going to get murdered because I wanted to go to this alpaca farm. Finally find the place, and it's beautiful, and it really is just a small operation. They have their own alpaca, they make their own wool. I don't know that they process it there, but they dye it, whatever. And I can't remember what that farm was called, and I also never ever went there again. So it could be like the lost city of Atlantis for alpaca yarn, and it's just, it'll reappear every 50 years or something and participate in the yarn crawl. I'm not sure. But this was what I purchased from them. I got 2 skeins of this. And upon further reflection, especially with being held with this really bright yarn, this is what I'm going for. This is almost too brown for the feel that I wanted in my shawl. I wanted a really bright emerald Kelly green. And as you guys may know, especially if you follow me on TikTok, I started the shawl And I've been kind of just playing around with swatching. So this is the other slub skein that I got. As you can see, it's very, very close. And there's a lot of variability in both of these. So it would be, you'd be hard pressed to tell them apart. They are different colorways, but who's gonna know? And I did a swatch where I held those two yarns together. Hated it. I'm doing a swatch now where I'm going to just use the slub yarn for the garter stitch areas, and then I was thinking about trying the darker yarn as the lace. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I will, but I'm not super enamored with it. So I did what I do, and I got on the internet and feverishly searched for another color, and I found one that's on my cell phone that I do not have in here with me because that would have been too smart, apparently. But I found a color, and you know, I may be able to find it again on my laptop. I'll endeavor. But I found this amazing color. It's Malabrigo, and the only place I can find it is in this tiny little store in Michigan, of all places. Michigan Fine Yarns. I shouldn't say tiny. I don't actually know how big this place is because I have never been there, ever, in my life. But now I want to go. Oh, let's see, yarn. Stop it. Go. I want Malabrigo. Oh, they have Juniper Moon. I might have to do some more shopping, y'all. Okay. So I bought worsted, which is going to sort of pump up the size of the shawl, make it more oversized and plushy like I wanted. And this is the color. And I'm gonna turn this off. Let's see if maybe you can see it without glare. Okay. See it? See how bright that is? Okay, so that is, let me make sure I don't have anything. Yeah. Okay, I don't have my credit card statement or anything up. Should have thought about that beforehand. That's the color I got. I have enough, here we go, to make the, cat. I have enough to make the whole shawl in just that if I want to. But so Margot Chin, she had like a slubby, sort of a boucle for part of the shawl for the garter stitch. And then she had just a normal, like a single ply or something for the lace. And so I'm going to try that yarn that I ordered with this. I'm going to do this. This will be the garter stitch, and then that will be and see if I like them together. I may not. And I'm okay with that. I think that I'm going to find something else to do with this yarn and with the other yarn if I don't like that. But this is one of those projects that I have been coveting for a terrible long time. And it really has to be the way I want it to be. I don't think I'm going to be happy with it if it's not like it looks in the picture. Some projects I have to have it look the way it does in the picture. This one was one of them. Some projects I want done just in my own way and I make up the colors. It really just depends on what my vision is, what I get fixated on. So that is what I'm working on. I have to wait for that yarn to come in the mail. And I don't think it's going to be here this week. So that's why I am starting a bunch of other things, which brings me to my next segment, which is not very organized segment, but things that I'm planning to make. And I guess the waiting for rain kind of falls into that, but I actually just purchased this pattern today to make a shawl called the Pie shawl. Pie half moon, I think. Pie a la mode. It would have been smart to check before, but I'm not always smart. Where is my mouse? Okay. Pie a la mode by Laura Marin Designs. So this is yarn that is actually a kit basically for this pattern. I purchased it when I was visiting a friend in North Carolina. And it includes, it's sheep graffiti. So let me see if I can show you without dumping my laptop on the floor. Sheep graffiti. And this gorgeous, Poncho, you're fine, honey. It's my cat. It's this gorgeous lavender color, lilac color, excuse me. She was crying and yawning. Okay, so I have Lumpy Bumpy and Fuzzy bundles. Oh, okay. Lumpy Bumpy is like a slub, so it's 2 skeins in one, and then Just Kidding Mohair is just this really gorgeously soft. Baba, what? Excuse me. I think I might have to just release my cat. She's crying. What? You want out? Go. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. I bet everything that she's going to come back up to the door and cry to be let in, just as a forewarning. So I have this, and I really wanted to kind of zhuzh it up, I guess, and do more than just plain lilac. And I was thinking about finding like a stellina or something to hold double to give it a little bit of sparkle, but what I wound up buying later this year was Fiesta La Boheme, this yarn, the next time I went to go visit. This color is called Ancient Ruins, and it's brushed kid mohair, wool, and nylon, and I'm thinking this color. So I'm thinking that this will be really, really beautiful held, or, you know, in place of some of this as I'm getting to the edges of the shawl. Oh, I was going to show you a picture. That way you can picture it. So this is a half moon shawl. I do not think I'm going to wear it that way. So let's see. Turn that off. Okay, so this. Ooh. It is a little bit difficult to see just because we don't have it zoomed in super far. But that's the shawl, and you've got layers of garter with the slub and then stocking it with the lace. So I want this light to turn on. There we go. I want to wear it like a poncho. So what I'm going to do is make it, and then I'm going to put buttons on it, essentially. I think that it's lacy enough that I don't have to do dedicated button holes. I can just kind of wheel them through the fabric. And then I can button it up when I want a poncho, and if I want a shawl, I can unbutton it. So that's the plan. I have not chosen buttons yet. That's going to be a whole ordeal because I have a expansive button collection. I'm going to have to pull everything out and look at it and hold it up to the yarn. It's going to be a whole day project, so we're not there yet. But that yarn is getting wound up today. I'm probably going to start it and make sure that it is ready to work, and I'll probably do that, finish that, and hopefully by the time I'm done, I will have my fine Michigan yarn. So that is coming. I've shown you the mermaid. I don't think I have any other projects. I think that is it. So we are at 23 minutes. That's not bad. I try not to go too much longer than 25, 30 on the outside these days because I feel like that's too long. I used to do 45-minute long, hour-long episodes, and they're burden to make sometimes, and I don't know that anybody wants to watch me for that long. So thank you if you've stayed tuned this whole time. I guess a little bit of housekeeping before I go. I've been trying to do that. I still do not have a filming schedule per se. I'm trying to get back into it and just make it as unstructured as it needs to be so that I don't feel burnt out trying to film again. I took a series of rather long hiatuses, whatever the plural of that is, this past year and the year before, and I'm trying to get back into doing postings more regularly, posting on Instagram more, posting on TikTok more, and what I have found is that I am terribly out of practice, just so bad. I had developed the skill of public speaking to the internet, and I just completely, it's like a language that I haven't spoken in a while, so I'm rusty. I'm also not trying as hard, and I think that comes across in my distinctive lack of editing and show notes. So that's what's going on with me. I do have an episode that I filmed now. This will be 2 episodes ago that I never put together. I am trying to put it together. I'm trying to find the gumption to edit it because that one takes editing. If I do, I'll put it up, and it will be, just know that it will be from previous times. I'll call it the lost episode or something like that because it's lost at this point. But yeah, comment down below. I've been kind of toying with the idea of trying to do more top 10 episodes and put patterns up that I find like I used to do. That will rely on me being able to figure out how to work with my editing software, which has not been very cooperative with me up to this point. But if that's something that you guys are interested in, I do find what I think are some really interesting patterns, stuff that doesn't really hit the mainstream. So let me know. And yeah, I think that's it. I've done a whole 4 more minutes of just ramble, so I think we should be done. Everybody have a wonderful day. Stay crafty, and remember that commercial knits are for the weak. Okay, bye.